Potential redistricting of our 3 middle schools and the enrollment for those schools. Before we begin, I would like to offer translation services for anyone who may need it. We have Spanish, Haitian Creole, or Arabic if anyone is in need of translation. All set? Okay. Can you see the board? Okay. Yes? Okay. All right. As we are all aware, the new Pickering Middle School is underway. We're all very excited to see this building completed and move our students and staff into a beautiful new building. A great deal of work has been put into researching and looking at data to determine the best steps to take in determining what addresses will be impacted. Please note that any student who is being assigned to the Pickering Middle School will be exposed to a brand new building with all the amenities that our students deserve as part of their education. I would like to personally acknowledge and thank the people who have put a great deal of time and effort to completing this work. From the city, Danielle Smith and Lauren Drago. From Lynn Public Schools, we had from our data center, Jennifer Shorter and Matt Cronin. From our compliance office, we have our compliance officer, Charlie Gallo, who is here this evening, and Lauren Walsh, his assistant. And from the Welcome Center, Yvette Martinez. We also had our other deputies as part of that. We have Molly Cohen and Maricel Goris. A new Pickering Middle School. The new Pickering is scheduled for completion in early 2027. This facility will provide 185,000 square feet of space across 5 stories. High-quality cafetorium, gymnasium, as well as space for health services, media center makerspace, drama, and movement. Classroom floor plan supporting grade level clusters and outdoor learning environments overlooking the ponds. Redistricting will balance middle school enrollment. The new Pickering Middle School's increased capacity will enable us to balance the 3 middle schools. What's not changing in this work? Anyone's assigned middle school until the 27-28 school year. Anyone's assigned elementary school or high school, that remains the same. And any programming regarding students' ability to attend a school outside of their assigned district. And as you can see, our enrollment as of now, Breed is at 1,253, Marshall 1,280, and Pickering is at approximately 543. 16%, Marshall is 16% overutilized as a brand new middle school. So it was not built for the 1,280. So we are over-enrolled in our schools. So this Pickering Middle School is really needed. I wanted to share, this slide represents the existing elementary feeder schools into the middle school. So this is currently how our elementaries feed into our middle schools. So as you can see, Aborn School is assigned between Marshall and Pickering. Brickett is assigned to Marshall, Callahan to Breed, Cobbett to Breed, Marshall and Pickering, Connery to Breed, Druitt's to Breed, Ford between Marshall and Pickering, Harrington to Marshall, Hood to Marshall and Pickering, Ingalls to Marshall, Lincoln Thompson to Breed, Lynn Woods to Pickering, Sewell Anderson, Breed and Pickering, Shoemaker to Pickering, Sisson to Pickering, Tracy to Breed, and Washington to Breed and Marshall. We went into this work with priorities and methodology that we wanted to follow. Our goal was to balance all 3 middle schools to serve student building capacity at each, based on student enrollment trends. Our priorities were the distance and convenience to the school, access to updated facilities, and elementary boundaries. We assigned every student in the future middle school cohort to their nearest school. Then we made changes for a few hundred students to improve convenience. Finally, we shifted more students based on elementary school boundaries. So these boundaries that you see on this map are the existing boundaries. This represents the proposed approximate areas that we're looking to change. So the dotted area indicates approximate areas of the city where middle school districts are changing. Breed will have Callahan, Connery, Druitt's, Lincoln Thompson, Sewell Anderson, part of Tracy, and part of Washington. Marshall will, the schools that will feed into Marshall will have Brickett, part of Cobbett, Harrington, part of Ingalls, part of Washington. And Pickering will have Aborn, part of Cobbett, Ford, Hood, Lynn Woods, Shoemaker, Sisson, and part of Ingalls and part of Tracy. So this slide represents the adjustments that happened in the elementary feeder schools into the middle schools. So as you can see, Aborn changed from Marshall and Pickering to just Pickering. Cobbett changed from all 3 schools to just Marshall and Pickering. Ford changed from both Marshall and Pickering to just Pickering. Hood changed from both Marshall to Pickering to just Pickering. Ingalls, we added Pickering. Sewell Anderson no longer splits between Breed and Pickering. They will all go to Breed. And Tracy, we've added Pickering to Tracy. All the other schools remained the same. As you can see, with these changes to our street directory, we'll go from existing enrollment of Breed at 1359 at 40% enrollment of our total enrollment, Pickering at 627 at 18% of our total enrollment, Marshall at 1454 representing 42% of our total enrollment, to the proposed district boundaries of Breed at 1208, which would be 35% of our total enrollment, Pickering at 1149, which would be 33%, and Marshall at 1083, which would be 31%. So you can see the percentages are now more even across the board. Key takeaways. Once we collect, we have been collecting public comment on our survey that has been out since April 1st. Once we get all of that feedback up to this evening, a decision will be finalized. We will look at that feedback, and the superintendent, it will be shared with the superintendent and shared with school committee and with the building committee, and a final decision will be made. At that point, the Welcome Center will send out letters to all existing families who may be impacted by this change to inform them of the change, should it get approved by school committee. And you can see on the key takeaways, the proposed redistricting will benefit all students. More students are assigned to their closest schools, more elementary schools assigned to one middle school, more students at the new Pickering school. And for the proposed district, 82% of the assigned students in the middle school cohort are assigned to their geographically closest school. And 81% of the assigned students in the middle school cohort remain in the same boundary they were previously located in. This is the process that we have been going through. This slide shares this process. This same presentation was made to the school committee on March 27th for their information. We launched the community comment period April 1st through today, April 30th, at which time we're doing this public forum. The next step will be an MSBA Pickering Middle School Building Committee meeting on May 14th, where this presentation will be shared with them, as well as some of the feedback that we received and if there were any adjustments that needed to be made. And then the final step would be to bring it back to school committee on June 12th to share any adjustments that may have needed to be made or not for a vote to approve the redistricting. So that will happen on June 12th. This was the QR code to the survey, so if you have not given feedback on the survey, you certainly can do the QR code and put your feedback in this evening. The survey is open right up until this evening. And that leaves me to any questions. If we can answer any questions for you, we'd be happy to answer questions. Oh, yes, sorry, there it is. If you have a question, could you come up to the microphone?
So it looks like they're going to almost double in the amount of students to Pickering, right? Because it's a bigger school.
Correct.
What are they going to do to adjust all the parking issues that are prevalent now?
So I will tell you that when the new Pickering does open, the Pickering is being built for 1,100 students. So we're trying to get it to where that is, right? The entrance of the new Pickering is in a totally different location than the entrance of Sisson. So right now it's challenging, right? The traffic pattern is challenging, Conomo Ave is challenging because the middle school students come in that entrance, the elementary students come in the same entrance, right? The same side of the street. With the new Pickering Middle School, the families can drive into the lot. There'll be a rolling drop-off at the front of the building. It will be on the Magnolia side, but the Sisson School will be on the Conomo Ave side. So it will defray a lot of the congestion that happens now.
I have a question. So you guys said Marshall is 16% over capacity as it is, right?
Correct.
Based on your data, how do you guys know that's not going to happen? It's bigger.
Well, so by increasing the size of Pickering, we're able to spread the students out more evenly across the three schools.
I'm assuming the goal at Marshall is the same thing, to add more kids, to have more space for kids.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
But it was different though.
Do you want to speak to it?
Any chance I can speak about Thurgood Marshall, I will happily take it, because I was the principal at the time that we moved Thurgood Marshall. That was a different scenario because that was a school built for a district school for that district. It wasn't redistricting. And so what happened was our enrollment grew because it just grew. It wasn't a matter of like being able to change the streets to make the enrollment even out. We were just one neighborhood that continued to grow at that time.
So 4 houses down there by me, there's a driveway that goes through the parking lot in the back of my house. And are you guys going to continue using that driveway?
Are you talking on Conomo?
At the end of Conomo Avenue.
It's the opposite side of this parking lot.
Right. So normally at night, sometime the driveway is open for public, and people would drive their car in the back, and they would just rest there, or sometimes they would, do some smoking and stuff.
Yeah.
So just want to know if that driveway is going to be cut off or it's going to be shut down when the school is shut down.
So we would have to ask that question to the city side.
Okay.
My gut is saying that they would not close it off because of emergency access.
Okay.
Right? But your question about would it be closed like after school hours? Mm-hmm. Potentially there could be a gate of some sort. There are some schools that have gates that can be closed during, the non-school hours to try and avoid those kind of things. But
Okay.
that really falls under the city,
The city.
and the facilities, the inspectional services department.
So you guys are building a 5-story behind our backyard, so there would not be any driveway between the school building and our backyard alongside, or just trees? Because I was looking at the map and I didn't see any parking space available in the back of us once the building is built.
I'm trying to find.
I can answer that question.
Okay.
Yes, there'll be a driveway between the school and the backyards of.
There
the
will be a
neighborhood.
driveway? Okay. Oh, there will be a driveway, so then our access driveway. Still a driveway. But no parking space, just a driveway.
Pickering Middle School project. It's just a drive, an access
So
drive.
the drive can go around. Okay. Thank you.
It's just for access for deliveries to the kitchen. It's not an access road for cars to go.
So where they are playing right now is the temporary play yard, but once the Pickering is at its final stages, that will all be redone. It will be much more of an interactive play yard like many of our schools have with the painted asphalt. But that is pretty much where the area of the play yard is. It will be bigger than what it currently is, though. I'm trying to find the map for you. So this picture shows you the park that will be on the Magnolia side. So that's at the end on the Magnolia side. But this shows, to Member Gately's comment, this shows the parking lot. It shows the area of the Sisson play area. Here's another shot of the parking lot. This is the front of the building. This shows the lobby with a feature wall. These are learning stairs that will be just inside the lobby, where a classroom could come to the stairs and do like a lesson or present something to fellow peers. This is the upper level of the lobby. You can see the stairs, the learning stairs in the background, and then there's like a balcony that looks over. This is another angle of the upper level of the lobby. These are the learning stairs going down. Views to the cafeteria and the gym. That's this space here. Here's a view to the cafeteria from the second floor. You can see all the windows, and so people can actually see into the cafeteria from there. Here's the cafeteria looking south. View to the gym from the second floor. So a lot of natural light coming through. Sixth grade extended learning. This is an example of an extended learning space. This is another alternate angle of that same sixth grade extended learning space. Here's another sixth grade extended learning. This is purple, so similar to Marshall, each cohort has a color. Media Center looking east. Media Center looking towards the maker space. Interior movement studio with exterior large deck. So this space here is the movement studio, but they can go out onto this patio area and do movement activities outside on the patio. This is a picture of the exterior movement space. You can see there's planters on the perimeter. These are glass fences, basically, so that they don't lose the view, but the safety is there. And then this is, again, the exterior learning space from an overhead view.
Is that facing the field?
That will be facing where the parking lot, the field and the parking lot, yes. So they actually will be able to see the pond from up high. Any other questions?
Built against our backyard.
Yeah, it would be a fence, right, with the trees in front of it?
So there'll be fencing, but there'll also be visual barrier of evergreens placed there, so.
Any other questions?
Will there be another forum here for us to meet?
To ask these questions, but we have some other questions that aren't really pertaining to how
Pertaining
it
to the
is.
school.
Yes.
The building
We don't
itself.
have one currently scheduled.
There's not currently one scheduled, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't have one. So Lynn and myself, we can contact the
The
what?
construction team.
Is it more based on the construction?
Construction, yeah, what's
Okay.
happening, and, we just wanted to know where the privacy fence would be
Yeah,
crossed
yeah.
without ordering it.
We can ask the people who coordinate all of that and get something set up for you.
Yeah, the city side meeting, like,
Yes, I understand. Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I hope the gym is facing